At 35 years old, a Waukesha woman is considered a miracle patient. She was partially paralyzed after falling to the floor in her own home.
Amazingly, she's now back on her feet. Jeremy Ross has the story you'll see only on Fox 6.
Time is merely a measure of events, a distance between past and present, and a resource we all share.
It was kind of scary.
Until it runs out.
The attitude was, I'm going to take it 15 minutes by 15 minutes.
Are you lucky to be alive?
Definitely. Definitely.
Tracy Gerber's time was nearly taken away back on October 14th. Near the place she and her husband play Monopoly,
Can you make me a car?
an internal struggle
Or a battleship?
for survival played out
My husband Jeff had called.
with little memory of how it began.
I'm not sure what happened. I said, I'm on the floor.
What are you doing there?
And I said, I don't know what I'm doing on the floor.
And she was talking a little off. I'm like, are you drunk?
And I said, I wish I was drunk, then I'd have a reason to be on the floor.
And she had no perception anything was wrong with her.
Her husband Jeff came home to find his once healthy wife immobilized on the carpet.
She's moving one leg and not the other. I'm like, you're not okay.
My husband had called 911.
Hours passed between the time Gerber was on the floor and the moment she arrived at Waukesha Memorial Hospital.
Was abruptly terminated right there.
Tests and images revealed Tracy was having a stroke. A blood clot was choking off the oxygen to her brain,
Yeah,
threatening her very life,
it was definitely some of the worst news you ever received.
threatening her quality of life.
You could probably not walk again.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says about 66% of people hospitalized for stroke are over the age of 65. Tracy was only 35.
They tell me it's pretty rare.
Time is the essence.
Time loss is brain loss.
The clock began to dictate what could and couldn't be done to reverse her partial paralysis and save her life.
Where it should be coming out here. And
Doctors like Robert Lesniak couldn't use special drugs to restore the blood flow to Tracy's brain. Medication would be too risky because too much time passed. But for a special procedure similar to this one, time was on her side.
given her young age, that was a major contributing factor that made it easier to navigate through the blood vessels we needed to.
Lesniak performed an intra-arterial thrombectomy. That's a process where a small tube about the width of a dime is threaded from the patient's hip to the brain.
We start passing our smaller tube up.
There, the device can directly suction the clot out. The risks were many, the guarantees were few.
Because she deserved that chance to try and live a normal life.
To feel normal again.
Tracy became the youngest patient at the hospital to undergo the procedure to remove a blockage slightly larger than the head of a pin. It lasted only about an hour, but it felt like days.
Just, the time's ticking, and it's like time's going so slow.
I just remember waking up in my room in the ICU.
From there, the quality of the rest of Tracy's life would be measured moment by moment.
Every 15 minutes they would check to see if I could hold my hand.
They'd hold it up and it'd drop.
Minutes turned to hours, hours turned to days, and on day 2, Tracy turned the corner.
The first moment I walked, that was pretty.
Partial paralysis became part of her past.
That was pretty cool.
She jumped out of bed with a big smile on her face and came walking over and gave me a hug. And it was one of the more gratifying moments in my career.
Did I just pay you that money?
Thanks in part to a procedure, a woman whose well-being once hinged on minutes can enjoy many more moments, a patient given more quality time to spend with others. Jeremy Ross, Fox 6 News.
Amazing. Doctors say Tracy had a small abnormality in her heart that played a role in that stroke. She left the hospital on her 5th day. While she still has some difficulty multitasking, she has fully recovered from significant brain trauma.